I don't recognize you. Have you come to finish what Durgian started? No. You look more like intruders to me.
You are so gonna feel some wrath!
It was so strange, you know? There was this bright tunnel, and my mother was there. And then it was like, yoink, not yet, stupid, and I was back here. Weird, huh? So, do you need my help again? No can do. Okie dokie. It's done.
You are so gonna feel some wrath!
I love this part! Okie dokie. was so...
Hey, I'll tell you.
No can do. No can do. Okie dokie. Aye, it's done.
Tis good to see you again.
Have you had any luck tracking down the bounties?
Well, hello to you. Were you the one I told about them monsters bothering us around here? The ones who took my wife, Leah. Do you bring word?
Thank you so much for all you have done.
No can do.
The gods smile on us that you remain yet unharmed for your efforts. With luck, success shall soon follow. Many of Lord Nasher's forces make haste to restore order to the city we have left. Neverwinter's chaos is obvious, and there are many predators in the hungry north. It falls to us then, to you, to track down the location of the cult which was responsible for starting this disease in the first place. We know precious little of them. We do not know who they are, where they are based, why they began the plague, or what other devilry they have yet planned for us. Unearthing the cult will not be a simple task. What few whispers I have collected, however, have allowed me to narrow your search to this region. It is vital that the cult's exact location be found, and that we are certain any leads we discover are not attempts at deception. Erebeth will not be satisfied until we find at least 2 separate leads that point to the same locale. That is your task. I do know of one possible lead for you. There has been strange news regarding a series of caves that lie north of Port Last. Investigation may reveal the cult to be hidden there. If not, there are other avenues for you to investigate. The city of Luskan to the north, Neverwinter Wood to the east, and the wildlands of the South Road. I suggest, however, that looking into the caves first would still be your wisest choice. The caves are in the hills to the north of Port Last, near the Green Griffin Inn. They have long been used by humanoid tribes of orcs, bugbears, and the like. They aren't usually a concern. In recent months, however, I have received word that these various humanoid creatures have been raiding the roads south of Luskan. This would not be unusual, except that the creatures now seem very organized and, I hear, are being led by humans. This leads me to believe the cult may be involved. That will be for you to determine. Just keep this in mind. No matter what you find there, Erebeth will wish 2 firm leads on the cult's location before she will act. We cannot afford a mistake. Have you a question for me then, my friend? May the luck of the gods be yours, my friend.
I am pleased to see that you remain safe, my friend. Lord Nasher tells me he is confident of your success, though I do worry at the danger in which you place yourself. Have you yet discovered any new information on the cult? Why do you ask me that? The spy master put you up to this, didn't he? I see. I suppose my state is obvious enough. Aaron is far more concerned than is warranted, however. Certainly a few bad dreams are not a reason to become alarmed. The servants claim I speak in my sleep and say frightening things. They creep about me cautiously, like I have gone mad. And Aaron pays their superstitious twitterings far more heed than he should. After all that has happened with the plague and Fenthic, I think a disturbing dream or two is not so surprising, wouldn't you agree? Now you too? Has the world gone mad, or is it me? These dreams are disturbing and frightening, but they shall pass. They are my burden to bear and no one else's. Perhaps you are right. Having the perspective of another on these dreams may not be a bad idea. I am falling in the dream, always falling, surrounded by a heavy blackness which chokes and drowns me. Grasping hands reach out to me, and the voices, a cacophony of whispers that plead to me for help. And then I see a shrouded figure. It is Fenthic. He is walking away from me, and I run to catch him, but always he eludes me in the darkness. The voices get so much louder. They are accusing me, blaming me, and I feel ashamed, though I do not know what I am being blamed for. I cry out for help, for them to stop their assault, but I go unheeded. And then I catch up to the figure, and I see that it is not Fenthic. He turns and gazes at me with sad eyes, and I know it is Tyr. And then my god turns his back on me. These are my dreams. Perhaps now you can understand why I have not wished to discuss them. I am frightened of what they may mean. That's kind of you to say. I am glad I told you at least. It makes the dream seem a bit smaller now. I do feel better for it, thank you. I am reminded a little of how I was introduced to the Paladin life. You should ask me to tell you the tale sometime. Until then, however, let's return to the subject of your task. That is something we can focus on at least. This is good news. What have you discovered? So the cult was responsible for stirring up the humanoids in the hills? You are to be commended for putting an end to that danger indeed. While this information you bring is incredibly valuable, it still does not tell us where the cult is based. We need that information if we are to strike at them. Fortunately, it does mention where more cultists may be found. Charwood and the Neverwinter Woods. Search those places, perhaps, for the information we seek. Have you found any other information? Then I wish you luck. I am pleased to see that you remain safe, my friend. Lord Nasher tells me he is confident of your success, though I do worry at the danger in which you place yourself. Have you yet discovered any new information on the cult? I wish there were better leads we could send you on to track down the cult, but Erin's information is the best we have. All I can suggest is that you visit the locales Erin has mentioned and keep your ears open for unusual activities. Not everything that is unusual will be the doing of this cult, obviously, but they are out there and active, so there is always a good chance you will discover them if you are alert.
Eh? What can Tommy do for you?
The gods smile on us that you remain yet unharmed for your efforts. With luck, success shall soon follow. Aye, what would you have of me?
That is a curious question, my friend. Nor does it have a simple answer if the truth be known, and is not a tale that I care to often tell. As you wish, my friend. Though I'll not be held responsible should you nod off during the telling of it.
Let me see. Perhaps it is best if I ask you a question first. You are a person of your god, are you not? How is it that you came into your calling? Was it an accident? Was it born purely of talent? Do you believe you were fated to be what you are? Fate is an odd thing, wouldn't you agree? Crystal clear when behind you, yet evasive and unknowable when before you. I myself started life as a slave in the southern deserts of Kalimshan. Never would I have foreseen that I might become who I am today. I knew of the lush and wild jungles of my homeland, Chult, only through the bedtime tales of my mother. I have never laid eyes upon its shore. My mother was owned by a most vicious and cruel caliph. As a slave child, one learns to stay out of sight and to move silently, lest one be beaten. Moreover, I learned to listen. I listened to the chatter of the servants, the bored talk of the guards. For many, many years, I was the shadow in the caliph's halls. For all my hiding, however, I proved of no use to anyone but myself. I could not save my mother when the caliph beat her to death for spilling a tankard of his mead, for instance. Aye, though in truth it was I who learned the lesson. I blamed myself for not warning my mother, for not stopping the caliph's blow. In grief and anger, I stabbed and killed the caliph, and was subsequently chased into the streets of Kalimpor. I fled into the shadows of the city, and was not alone there. I found many who I will call allies and not friends, for we acted in unison only to survive. The law pursued me, so always I remained hidden and listened as I once had. The fact that I was a thief to remain alive did not help. And eventually, even the shadows of the city were no longer safe for me. I sought passage out of the city, and eventually a captain took pity on me and gave me a position aboard his ship. Perhaps you have heard of Randall the Red? Randall the Red deserved his reputation as a violent and cunning pirate of the Sword Coast. While I joined his crew, I was not a pirate as you think of it. I was not fond of drink as the other sailors were, and instead spent my time at each port making new contacts and listening. Over the years, Randall grew to depend on my skill. He gave me gold to establish informants throughout the coast, and I heard news the instant it happened. It was I who kept Randall safe and one step ahead of his pursuers, for always would I know before the chase was on us. I was his master of spies, though I would not have put a name to it at the time. I was grateful for Randall's kindness, for despite his reputation, he was an easy man to like. I was not fond of the looting and pillaging Randall indulged in, and did my best to subtly steer him away from the worst of it. Randall knew what I was doing, and permitted it only because I was otherwise invaluable to him. He cared not if I cringed and turned a cheek when the crew plied the worst of their bloody trade. As the years passed, I came into a certain amount of my own fame along the Sword Coast. My life was my life, and I was satisfied with it, and discharged my duty as best I knew. It was not until I encountered Lord Nasher that my life would change forever. That, however, is another tale. Ask me of it sometime, my friend. Ha ha ha! Perhaps another time, my friend. You made for a fine audience. Back to more important matters. Is there something you needed? What do you wish to know? I shall hope that the gods keep you safe, my friend.
So much for helping me, Al-Halor.
Hey, I'll tell you. I think you'd better stop looking into this cult business.
Helor, Port Last's only anti-lycanthropic merchant, at your service. Don't worry, young Ander. This will work out yet. Everything happens for a reason, it does.
Thanks so much for helping me, Al Halor.
Can I help you?